Main man, made man here. Y'all know how I get down. We talking boxing, man. You know, I just shake my head at how the boxing fans are turning on Keith Thurman. I just shake my head and it solidifies my thoughts of boxing fans being the most fickle fans on the planet, man. This dude, Keith one-time Thurman, unified welterweight champion. The only unified welterweight champion. Defeating the two next best opponents in his division in Showtime Shawn Porter and Danny Garcia. That's to add on his victories over guys like, Robert Guerrero or Diego Chavez. That adds on, I guess you could say Luis Collazo, I don't know. But those are not the worst names in the world is what I'm getting at. And Keith Thurman has delivered fight after fight after fight. Became a unified champion during a time where champions are scared to get into the ring with one another, especially at welterweight. Before he was champion, ran up on everybody with a name that was in welterweight. Floyd wouldn't face him. He ran up on Maidana. Maidana ain't had nothing to do with him. Paulie Malignaggi ain't want nothing to do with him. Nobody wanted nothing to do with one time when he was on the hunt for that title. Then when he gets the title, he then fights the next two best opponents in his division. And then the fight fans nowadays are running around calling him everything but a child of God, all because he won't fight Errol Spence when they want him to. When truth be told, what Keith Thurman is saying is pure legitimate. He is coming off elbow surgery, ladies and gentlemen, in a very close fight with Danny Garcia. He had elbow surgery last April, and he is stating that now that he is returning back to the ring this year, he wants to get a soft touch, possibly face Showtime Shawn Porter or either Danny Garcia, and then he'll look to see what's available and possibly look to get into the Spence fight. Now, I guess a lot of fans want the Spence fight right away, right? Or sometime this year. Despite the fact that this man just had elbow surgery. And I know how y'all may feel, man. Well, how do you feel like he can get in the ring with Showtime Shawn Porter then and not Spence? Showtime Shawn Porter ain't Errol Spence. I know y'all see the Tasmanian devil of Shawn Porter who puts all that work in. But believe it or not, after you beat that one time, it becomes easier to beat that style the second time. I'm telling you, and I know a lot of people may not understand, but it does. It becomes much more predictable to you. The speed, you're accustomed to it. It's not going to be as hard for Keith Thurman in the second fight than I think it was in the first fight, in my opinion, unless something is seriously wrong with his elbow. But it's a fight like that can tell him whether or not something is really wrong with that elbow, or if it's good enough to hold up against a fighter, the caliber of fighter of a Errol Spence. And everyone is calling him everything wrong. And if there's anybody in boxing, at welterweight especially, that earned the right to get themselves in order, to make sure that their body is 100%, to make sure that they knock off the proper ring rust. If there's any fighter at welterweight that deserves that opportunity, it is Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman. When I hear people say, I was such a big fan of Keith Thurman and how they've turned their back on him today, I just shake my head and said, I never want a fan like that. Real talk. Anybody that can't back this man up right now, that you are supposed to have been a fan of him when he's coming off of surgery, he don't know how his body's going to react once he gets in competition in the ring, and y'all are dogging him for it because he don't want to speak on Errol Spence the way y'all want him to speak on Errol Spence. They dog him for it. Let me remind y'all something. Keith Thurman is the champion at welterweight. He don't have to call out no goddamn body. Truth be told, they got to call him, which they have been doing. But they got to work to get that fight. It ain't Keith Thurman. They got to put the work. He's done that already when he was a challenger, when he had one belt. Now that he has two unified champion, beat the two next best opponents, he got to sit back in there and wait and see who emerges to fight him. But y'all Errol Spence fans y'all some lunchboxes, man. You know, when it comes to Errol Spence and Vasyl Lomachenko, man, y'all, them fan bases right there, y'all gone, man. Y'all be on some other shit. Y'all act like no other fighter exists in the world but those two. Real talk. It's Keith Thurman, man. He is a supreme champion at welterweight. How about Showtime Shawn Porter, Danny Garcia, Errol Spence? Y'all chop it up. And whoever emerges from that, come see me. That's the way it's supposed to go. But no. Everyone says it's Keith Thurman's fault. Errol Spence is supposed to call out Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman ain't supposed to just jump at anybody who says his freaking name. I don't care if it's Errol Spence or not, especially when he's injured. Y'all, man, when people take a step back, take their emotion out of it, stop listening to their favorite uploader or commentator or whoever the fuck, when they stop doing that and take a look at this situation as a boxing fan, you would say, I understand. But y'all get hyped up. Y'all get puffed up by somebody else. You would sit back and say, I understand. That man is coming off an injury. That man has unified. He has beaten the best at welterweight. So he has earned the opportunity to sit back and allow his body to be properly healed. You know, that's just the way it is. And then he's talking about coming back, giving us decent fights, not bums. There was once talk of Jesse Vargas. I hear that talk is gone now. But even if he don't fight Jesse Vargas in his first fight back after surgery, which still is a tall task to ask, even if he doesn't do that and he just goes right into the next fight with Shawn Porter after this soft touch, I'm good with that. I don't prefer to see him facing Shawn Porter, a guy he's already beaten, but that's a different video. I'm just saying if he goes into that fight with Porter, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? That's a quality name. He is preparing himself. He's not going to do what Kell Brook did and take the pressure from the fight fans to do things that he shouldn't be doing. It's because of the pressure that Kell Brook was feeling to come down from 160 to 47. To take a fight when he knew his eye wasn't 100%. Well, Keith Thurman ain't going to be rushed for nobody. Not even his so-called fan base. He's going to take his time because this is his career. He's going to take his time, do things the right way, because Keith Thurman doing things that way up until this point made him a unified champion. And we act like Keith one-time Thurman, oh, he's not going to fight it. Like he's never been a 1-2 time a year fighter. He's always been that way, even before these belts. So let's not act like it's because of Errol Spence. I can't believe y'all, man. Y'all turning on Keith Thurman this way, man. If real talk, man. I may say my little things here and there, but I could never turn on him the way y'all do, especially if I consider myself a fan. I understand what that man is doing. That man is unified. They got to get like him. He ain't running from nobody. He ain't ducking or dodging. No, it's just that you're not going to sit back and say things in the public that they're going to hold you to. He'll speak on Errol Spence when it's time to speak on Errol Spence. Right now is not the time to speak on Errol Spence when there's 2 fights in front of him. Figure it out, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, goddamn, get y'all heads out of Errol Spence's ass. I like Errol Spence, but come on, man. Y'all going too far. Too far. So it is what it is, yeah. I mean, I'm sorry, man. I'm rocking with Thurman on this. I think Thurman, let Errol Spence try to get a fight with Shawn Porter or Danny Garcia, for crying out loud. Let them fight him. This so-called, when I hear fans speak of a boycott Danny Garcia. That man fighting Brandon Rios. Y'all don't boycott no goddamn Keith Thurman, the man who been putting in work. That shit is backwards, man. Fickle fans, man. Fickle boxing fans. Make me sick. Y'all turn on Keith Thurman as if this man ain't done nothing, yo. If you call yourself a fan or formerly a fan, yo, I never want to have fans like y'all. Real talk, man. This man didn't put that work in. No other fighter at welterweight has done what he's done. Maybe but Manny Pacquiao. No other fighter. And now he comes around and says, oh, I'll fight Errol Spence after 2 fights. That's what he's been saying from day one. And some idiots are like, well, I guess we can be cool with him now. He said he'll fight Errol Spence after 2 fights. He's been saying that, man. He's been saying that from day one. Yo, y'all fans are the worst. To the next video, Main Man Made Man. Don't forget to subscribe to Twitter, Made Man 511, Facebook, Main Man Made Man Boxing Forum, Google Plus, Main Man Made Man. Sure, I would like to see it to be someone else, but Showtime Shawn Porter ain't that bad of a fight. And if he's going to use this to be a measure for Errol Spence, then so be it. Hell, it's just like the Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder situation that's going on here. It's like they say, man, as long as those two dudes keep winning, that fight is going to be huge. Pay-per-view fight, right? Well, guess what? The same can play out between Keith Thurman and Errol Spence. It's about damn time that two of these younger welterweights finally come up and probably have an opportunity at a pay-per-view, and the names don't involve Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. Let them fight and earn their own road to superstardom. Stop being so goddamn fickle. Sit your ass down and be humble and have some patience. To the next video. Peace out, man.